got a really great example which I wanted to share, and it talks to what I think the market may look like post this coronavirus pandemic. And I think the real question that comes into the spotlight here is, what is a secure tenant? That's been an assumption which has gone missing over the last couple of years, where an ASX-listed tenant, most investors look at that and say, okay, well, there's reputability to that income. I think that question mark is going to come to the forefront, and I think it's going to be attacked slightly differently now with a different set of assumptions. And maybe the assumptions now are, instead of it being, is that tenant ASX listed, or is that tenant a worldwide entity, or is that tenant a national body, the question may become, is that tenant an essential service? So, you can think about the example where you've got Jim's grocery store right next door to a flight centre. Now, flight centre, I don't know how many branches across Australia, amazing covenant, but right now, is that an essential service? No. And those are the tenants which are not paying rent right now. And then you look at, Jim's grocery store, which I think in good times wouldn't even get a second glance because you'd rather go for a Woolworths or a Coles or an Aldi or a Costco. But the essentialism of that service comes to question a bit more. And I think investors in today's market, as in the market post-coronavirus, will be far more concerned about the essentialism of the service that's provided by the tenant, rather than just whether it's ASX listed or not, or given more consideration to how that tenant will trade in times of real pandemic. The other really good example is like a logistical operator. The likes of Toll and IPEC and these tenants, they're all logistics, and to their credit, they would be performing quite well, I think, during this coronavirus. But other logistical tenants that are taking, end of trip, that kind of that last mile operator, it might be an unknown logistical operator out of Welshpool in WA. I think that tenant would be looked upon far more favourably in a post coronavirus world than before, because of the essentialism of that service. So I think we're going to see a real disparity happening there in the investor market and in the property market commercially, where investors may find themselves asking a different set of questions because the assumptions that go behind your investment are different now.